Hey everyone, Jake here for American Muscle, and in this video we're taking a look at the Solo Performance Street Race Catback exhaust with polished tips, fitting the 2011 to 2014 Mustang GT. If you're looking for some raw, powerful sound out of your Mustang, then look no further than this setup right here from Solo Performance. This is a very loud, well-designed catback system with a lot of good features packed in for a really reasonable price. So if you want the best kind of sound, this one should absolutely be on your shopping list. It's basically knocking on the door of a straight pipe, so we're gonna give this a 5 out of 5 on our loudness meter. About the only thing louder than this would be dumping it right out of the headers itself, so this one is sure to wake the neighbors. But there is a lot more to this than just pure volume. Now this is of course a full catback system, so it's going to take the place of all your factory mufflers and resonators. And as you might have already picked up on, there are no traditional mufflers or resonators on the table here before me. And that's because this system frankly just does not have any. Now as you heard in the clips at the beginning of the video, that means that this sucker is loud. It's deep, it's aggressive, it's a raw sound, and it makes that Coyote V8 absolutely wail like you might expect it to. Now inside, of course, this is also gonna be a much louder experience than your stock exhaust, but it won't actually blow your eardrums out and you can still enjoy taking a road trip. And that is because Solo Performance has added in some rather clever stuff. They've gone to great lengths to ensure that though this may have a lot of volume, there is no drone. Now at the front of the system, what you see right here before me, you get a built-in X-pipe. Now if you're not familiar, X-pipes do a couple of things. They're gonna help equalize exhaust pressures and resonant frequencies that are naturally created by traditional V8s with uneven firing orders like the Coyote. X-pipes also let your engine breathe a bit better, especially at higher RPMs, as they're providing a smooth crossover here. So that does make for an increase in power versus a system that does not have an X-pipe. And of course, part of what we love about the Coyote V8 is that it thrives at high revs. Now, as with any exhaust, don't expect huge power gains, but it will be more than stock. If you're really absolutely hammering on the car, that's where this X-pipe is gonna thrive, really way up high in the rev range. Now, the final piece of the puzzle are these adjustable J-pipes, also known as Helmholtz resonators. So unlike inline resonators like you find in most other exhaust systems, these don't fundamentally alter the sound profile, but they do help cancel out unwanted or dissonant frequencies, again, leading to no drone. Now, Solo Performance calls this their sound-on-demand technology. The idea being that this is just a bit more subdued than a plain old straight pipe, but will still give you that sound when you really romp on it. And to me, this is the best part here. You get all the noise without the annoyance. And these J-pipes are also adjustable. You can see the clamp on them right here. So you can adjust these back and forth. So if you need to dial in a little more sound or dial out a little bit of drone, you've got the ability to do that here. So between the X and the J pipes here, and even despite the lack of traditional resonators or mufflers, you're really gonna be able to enjoy the sound without any of the unpleasant drone that sometimes comes with aftermarket systems. And the system is capped off with these polished /cut exhaust tips. They do look similar in some respects to your factory exhausts, though they're quite a bit bigger than those factory ones at 4.5 inches in diameter. Now, in contrast to the sound, these are a bit more subtle, but I think that's okay. They work well with the Mustang styling, and they're gonna fit right in your exhaust cutouts in the rear bumper. It makes for a nice surprise when you start the car up and passersby hear that nice loud bark, especially if they haven't noticed the tips beforehand. Construction here is all 3-inch mandrel bent T409 stainless steel, so this is going to provide you some good protection against the elements. Though it won't be as much protection as a full 304 stainless setup would be, You're also not paying the full price of a T304 stainless system either. Now the band drill bending, as you can see, means that there's no creases or strange bends, making for really smooth exhaust flow all the way back out to the tips. Speaking of those tips again, these are of course a dual wall T304 stainless setup and they're polished to a nice high shine, meaning that they're gonna look good and be resistant to rust and corrosion for a long time to come as well. These are also adjustable too, so if you want to adjust where they sit on the car, you've got the ability to do that since they just clamp on. This overall is a very solidly constructed system and it comes with everything you need to get it installed on your car. So if you like the sound, this is definitely worth the price of entry. Speaking of the price of entry, this one is going to run you about $925, and that actually puts it toward the lower end of the price spectrum for full catbacks. And for a good quality exhaust with all the features that you have included here, I really don't think that's a bad deal at all. In fact, given the X pipe and those J pipes included, I think it's a bit of a bargain. So if you want that head-turning volume without the annoyances that typically come with it, this has got to be your pick. Installation will come in at a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you about 2 hours to complete. Now again, this is a fully bolt-in system, and it utilizes all of your factory exhaust hanger locations, so there's no cutting or modification required to your car in order to get this one fitted. And of course, you get all the clamps and hardware included in the box too, so everything you need is there and ready to go. With that, let's head out to the shop, and we'll walk you through the process.
For this install, you need a 3/8 impact, an extension, a 17, 15, 13 and 12 millimeter socket, exhaust hanger tool, a type of grease, and also not shown be a lift and a pole jack. All right, today we're gonna be installing a catback exhaust on our Mustang, so let's get started. All right, now we're gonna take our H pipe off. So we have 2 clamps in the front, 2 clamps in the rear. We're gonna start in the front with our impact and 13 millimeter socket and take our 2 front clamps off. All right, do the same thing on the other side. All right, now we have our 2 clamps at the back part. They are a 15 millimeter socket. All right, now we can remove our H pipe. All right, now to remove the rest of the exhaust, they are the same thing on either side. We're gonna start by loosening the clamp behind the muffler so we can take off the pipe that goes over the axle. All right, we're gonna grab our impact and 13 millimeter socket and loosen our clamp. All right, now we'll get it over the axle pipe and just feed it forward. All right, now we're gonna grab our exhaust hanger tool and come to the muffler. There's a hanger on the rear that we're gonna take off, and the muffler should slide backwards and be able to come down. All right, now you can go ahead and repeat the same steps for the other side. All right, the first step of this exhaust is we're gonna get a panhard bar spacer from the kit. What it's gonna do is gonna allow clearance for the 3-inch pipe to fit above the top panhard bar. All right, so these are the 2 bolts we're gonna take out. Grab our impact, extension, and a 15 millimeter socket. All right, so we're gonna pull down, put our spacer into place, and then install our new supplied bolts. All right, then we grab our impact with the extension and a 17 millimeter socket and tighten that down. All right, now we're gonna come to our exhaust hangers and we're just gonna grab some grease and just grease up where the hanger, where the exhaust will go into the isolators, just to make the install a little bit easier. All right, you just go ahead and do that through the rest of the hangers through the system. All right, now we're gonna put our X pipe up. So we have our 2 ball flange clamps. I'm gonna put over our cat pipes. As you can see, we do have a pole jack here just to help support the X pipe so it doesn't fall. All right, now we're just gonna snug up our front clamps just to help hold it in place a little bit, not tighten it completely. So we're gonna grab our impact and 12 millimeter socket. All right, now we're gonna keep working our way backwards. We have our 3-inch clamp. We have our Paxner side over the axle pipe. Feed it up over the axle first, and then into our X pipe. All right, now we have our rear section with our J pipe. We have our exhaust clamp on our pipe already. You kind of have to put it in the pipe and the hangers at the same time. All right, now if you need to, you might need to loosen this clamp just to adjust this pipe. It's a 15mm socket for that clamp. All right, and then we just have our rear hanger. All right, now you can go ahead and do the same thing for the other side, and then we're gonna come back, start tightening everything, starting from the front, working our way backwards, adjusting as we need. All right, now we're gonna start at the front of the car and work our way backwards, tightening and adjusting as we go. We're gonna start with our ball clamps, impact, and 12mm socket. All right, now we have our 2 clamps at the back of the X pipe. We're gonna grab our impact and 15mm socket. All right, now we're gonna tighten our over the axle pipe. Grab our impact and 15mm socket, and tighten it down. And also the pipe that we adjusted earlier, put it where you want, and then impact and 15mm socket. All right, now you can go ahead and do the same thing for the other 3 clamps on the driver's side. All right, and last thing, we just have our tips. So we're gonna put our clamp over, and then slide our tip over, adjust it to where you want, and then tighten the clamp down with our impact 15mm socket. All right, you can go ahead and do the same thing for the other tip. All right, and that wraps up our install of our Solo Performance Street Race Catback Exhaust for our 2011 and 2014 Mustang GT. And remember, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.